Good morning students. So here we are having the chapter rotational motion. As we know, firstly we have done the chapter system of particles, in which we discussed about the center of mass and its further properties. For your knowledge, I want to tell you, in this chapter we are having other terms also, like angular momentum, angular acceleration, angular displacement, relation between linear momentum and angular momentum. But these terms we have already done in the unit of kinematics and the topic circular motion, so that we will not repeat over here. If you will have any doubt or query regarding that topics, you can consult me. So for now we will do the topic. The next topic we are having is equilibrium of rigid bodies. As we know, equilibrium is that state which a body gain after some forces or after getting displaced. Equilibrium means its original position, the original state of a body. So there are two conditions for a body. There are two conditions for a rigid body to be in equilibrium. The first one is the vector sum of the forces acting on the body must be zero. What they are saying? The vector sum of the forces means how many forces are applying on the body. Their net sum must be zero, means body will not get displaced and it will regain its initial position or equilibrium position. The second is a net torque. Torque is also a type of force. The difference is that torque is equal to force into perpendicular distance. Torque we take in the case of rotational motion or rotational forces. So the net torque acting on the body must be zero. So these are the two conditions for attaining the equilibrium of rigid bodies. The next we are having the types of equilibrium. Firstly, stable, unstable and neutral. In the stable equilibrium, if the body is displaced a little and torque is removed, suppose if the body is displaced a little, suppose I am having that body and I am displacing it a little. I displaced it a little, but after getting displaced, I have removed the force. Now I am not giving any force, not any force or not any torque, and the body will return back to its original state. So this is called the stable state or stable equilibrium. But now just see, if I have this pen in this position and I am removing force and torque, it fell down, means now it will not regain its original or initial position. So that equilibrium is known as the unstable equilibrium. Next is a neutral equilibrium. Neutral equilibrium means, suppose I am pushing this pen over here and afterwards again it will gain its original position, and original position as well as its potential energy remains same. In this type of equilibrium, we basically or mainly we deal with the potential energy. Like I am applying force on that and after getting displaced, again it came on rest, means its potential energy remains same. So this is called the neutral equilibrium. Afterwards, we are having the equation of rotational motion. As in the second unit, we have done this equation of motion for the linear path, in which we had the first equation, V is equal to U plus AT. But in case of rotational, in place of V, I will use omega, because V is linear velocity and omega is angular. U is initial velocity, here omega 1 I will take as initial angular velocity. Here A is the linear acceleration and here I am taking alpha, that is angular acceleration, and T is the time. Same for other parameter. In place of S, I will use theta, that is angular displacement. And again I have written these three parameters which we haven't used in the linear motion but we will use in the rotational motion. So these are the equation of motion for the rotational portion. The next topic we are having the moment of inertia. Basically, moment of inertia, in first or second unit we have done this thing, inertia. Inertia is the inability of a body to change its state by itself. And if we are applying force on any body, it will try to remain in that position in which it is having before applying the force. Suppose fan is moving and when I am switching off it, जब मैं फैन का स्विच ऑफ कर दूंगी तभी भी फैन के विंग्स हैं, they will tend to remain in the state of motion. Why? Because of inertia. सो इनर्शिया ऑफ मोशन, जिस ऑब्जेक्ट में मोशन है वो फोर्स लगाने के बाद भी कोशिश करेगा कि वो मोशन में ही रहे। जो ऑब्जेक्ट रेस्ट पे है वो फोर्स लगवाने के बाद भी यही कोशिश करेगा कि वो रेस्ट पे ही रहे, एंड दिस प्रॉपर्टी इज कॉल्ड द इनर्शिया. So here we are having the moment of inertia. I have taken an example in which I took two circular parts. First I have wheel and the second I have disc. Now we can see that in wheel there are number of masses, but in the disc simple part we have taken. Suppose this disc is also rotating and that wheel is also rotating about its axis of rotation. अपनी axis rotation के अराउंड वो रोटेट कर रहे हैं. अब दोनों पे फोर्स लगाऊंगी. ये डिस्क है, इट विल स्टॉप मूविंग अर्लियर एज कंपेयर टू द व्हील. व्हाट इज द रीजन? द रीजन बीइंग इज दैट इन दैट व्हील देयर आर नंबर ऑफ मासेस एंड दे विल टेक सम टाइम टू कम ऑन द स्टेट ऑफ रेस्ट. अपनी रेस्ट स्टेट पे आने के लिए वो थोड़ा टाइम लगाएंगे. दैट इज वाई द रीजन इज दैट because they are having a number of masses as compared to the disk. So I can write a moment of inertia is equal to, it is a product of mass and square of the distance, square of the perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation. So that is MI/RI square, summation of MI/RI square. That is a topic of moment of inertia. Next we are having the radius of gyration. It is the perpendicular distance. Radius of gyration is the perpendicular distance of a point P. Here I have taken a perpendicular. Suppose I have this body in which number of particles are there and the mass of these particles is m. Radius of gyration is the perpendicular distance of a point. I have taken this point over here and I'm talking about the radius of gyration. So is the perpendicular distance of a point P from the axis of rotation, where if whole mass of the body is supposed to concentrated. यहाँ पे क्या assume किया कि पूरी body का mass यहीं पे क्या है, concentrated है, and the body shall have the same moment of inertia. तो पूरी body का moment of inertia क्या आएगा, same as it has with actual distribution of mass. जितना जितना उनका mass है उसी के according पूरी body का क्या होगा, moment of inertia. So by definition I can write I is equal to m1 r1 square plus m r2 square plus m, not m1, simple we will take as m because masses we have taken identical for all the particles. M r1 square, m r2 square, m rn square. As m is common term, so I can take it outside. In the bracket I will have r1 square, r2 square up to so on. Now we are having this number of particles and we don't know the value of mass. So I can write the total value of the mass as m into n, where n is the number of particle and m is the mass of each particle. So m into n will become capital M, and I have divided and multiplied this equation with small n. So in place of this I can write as it is capital M, and in place of this value I will write k, where k is the radius of gyration and the value for k is r1 square plus r2 plus r3 up to so on divided by n. So I can define it as it is equal to root mean square distance. Root मीन स्क्वायर डिस्टेंस, सारे डिस्टेंस का क्या करना है, मीन और उनका स्क्वायर आफ्टरवर्ड्स रूट. रूट मीन स्क्वायर डिस्टेंस ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट पार्टिकल, जितने भी उसमें पार्टिकल्स हैं ऑफ द बॉडी, ये पूरी बॉडी के पार्टिकल्स हैं, उनके रूट मीन का स्क्वायर किया है फ्रॉम द गिवन एक्सिस ऑफ रोटेशन. So this is called as radius of gyration, and this is the last topic of this unit. Few terms are left which I will send you through the PDF. Still, if you will face any query or problem, you can ask me. I'll make it clear.